Hello everyone, this is In-Game Art with a little boxing, another offline product game review. This is Doki Doki Literature Club for the PlayStation 4. To jump right into it, I'm sure you've noticed we're doing things a little bit different here again, and that we are covering both the Japan and US version of Doki Doki Literature Club for the PS4. Now why that is that I was told that the PS4 Japan version of Doki Doki Literature Club is uncensored, so I really wanted to check it out. That's what delayed my US coverage of the game, so I can give you guys both information at the same time and see the differences between them. Now, there is some differences between them, and I will go into details a little bit about this, but I want to first cover that both of the games installed are treated as two different games, so both games will have their own separate trophy lists. So if you're interested in platinuming, both of them have their own separate platinum, so if you're a trophy hunter, good news for you. As well as that both of them do take up a little bit different information size. The US version takes up about 2.34 gigabytes, as well as the Japan version takes up 2.42 gigabytes. So it's only 10 megabytes difference, and I don't really know what that is, and I will cover a bit variations, but they both did have an update available. The Japan version had an update size of 1.5 gigabytes big and will take you to version 1.01 since the time making this video, which is quite surprising. I did not expect this game to have a ginormous gigabyte update worth of data, but hey, there it is. All it did say was bug fixes. Now, I did play the Japan version and the US version completely offline with an unregistered account, and I didn't experience any bug problems or issues, as well as I was unlocking trophies. So, I don't know what they're fixing with 1.5 gigabyte update, but the US version did have an update as well. Its update size was 700 megabytes, and it took you to version 1.05 since the time making this video, and as well, all it said was bug fixes. Again, very peculiar. The US version had half than the Japan version, where the Japan version was more than double the US version, which is very odd. And I will go into details a little bit more about the bug fixes and what is altered in terms of the update, but it's just very peculiar that the Japan version has such a ginormous update compared to the US version. Now, there is some subtle differences between the Japan and US version. I'm sure you saw there in the unboxing part, the Japan version had some, of course, Asian language, or Japan language, as well as it did come with bookmarkers, which I thought was kind of cool compared to the US version. That was during the unboxing part of the video. But as well as that, the US version has two subtle differences I noticed immediately. In the settings, the US version will tell you the version on disk version, like the software, so it will say like 1.15 of the version of the software on the disk, while the Japan version does not tell you that in the settings. As well as that the US version has a little autosave icon that will pop up on the bottom right corner of the game every time the game is autosaving. This is actually very distracting, as it doesn't really feel like it belongs in the game, and it's just this yellow white arrow that keeps pointing down every time the game autosaves, while the Japan version does not have this. So again, very odd. But what's even more odd is that when you update the game, the US version, it updates the game to be more like the Japan version, where it removes the autosave little icon, as well as it removes that little setting number to let you know that what the version on disk version is. So the US version updates itself to be more like the Japan version. So I don't know really which one you should get, because sadly, I was told the Japan version was uncensored. This is sadly not true. I did play both of them completely offline with an unregistered account, and they're both censored. As well as that, I did play both of them through from the beginning to end with them being updated. Still does not remove the censorship. So extremely disappointing in that department, and I don't know why I was misled or somebody had misinformation and told me the wrong information, but at least I was able to cover it and let you guys know in case someone else tells you that the Japan version is uncensored. That is not true. I will include at the end of the video in terms of what that censored content looks like and compared to both of them, Japan and US version, which are identical. The only reason I didn't include it is it's spoiler content, as well as that it's kind of graphical content. So I'm going to include it at the end of the video. After I say bye-bye, that will let you know that this is going to be some spoiler and some graphical content. So if you want to stick around and see that stuff, that is up to you. So again, I'm letting you know ahead of time. But in the story-wise, you play as a main character, you get the name, and you get to join a literature club named through your school. And basically, it's a visual novel. You do some talking and interaction, make choices, and you try to choose your waifu, the girl you like. You got Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki. Now, there is a fourth character, Monica, but you can't pursue her. Now she's like the class president. She's got her own goals in her life right now. As well as the most interactive thing you do, you make poems. And you make poems that correlates to the the character you like the most. Kind of just get the hang of the character, what they like, and you try to make a poem for that character, and then eventually get more in-depth character depth for that character. Usually how visual novels work. I play a lot of visual novels, so it's kind of the bread and butter and how it works, and it doesn't have no really issues with the game. If you don't know, that Doki Doki Literature Club does touch on some very graphical and sensitive subjects that may not be for some people. I can't really go into the subject because it goes into the spoiler department, and it makes it really hard to talk about these kinds of games because they're very just a narrative, story-driven, without really gameplay mechanics and so on. So I don't know what I can really talk about, but that summarizes it. But I want to point out the one things I really didn't like, and that is that I'm not a big fan of fourth wall breaking. Now, I don't mind fourth wall breaking in terms of that it's a joke or points fun or make some little jabs here and there. That's fine. I don't mind fourth wall breaking there, but I don't really enjoy fourth wall breaking as a narrative standpoint. I'm not interested in that. It breaks all immersion for me. I kind of talked about this with Undertale, and it does affect me in this one as well, but I still really enjoyed the music, the characters, the idea, the universe that they were trying to create with Doki Doki Literature Club, as well as the change of pace when everything starts happening. And I just think they did it a very well job, and it's really enjoyable for that. And it highly disappoints me that the PS4 version that I have covered is censored. Now, I have been told the Switch version is uncensored, but I wanted to cover that one as well in this video, but I didn't want to make too many coverage on one video for each game. As well as that, again, I'm going by what people have told me. I would have to go out of my way, buy a Switch version, and cover that one again. So I don't really want to buy a third copy of Doki Doki Literature Club. So maybe down the road I'll pick it up if I maybe find a used copy or something like that. Or just on the whim get some deal to get it for free or something like that. Some kind of weird thing like that to get me for the Switch version. But I do know the PC version is uncensored. So again, I don't know why PlayStation or Sony has been very stickler about censorship lately. It's very disheartening. I don't approve censorship of any kind. It doesn't add anything. It just takes away the experience for so many people, and it just, I don't know. It's very disappointing. There's so many things I want to talk about, but again, it leads into spoilers, and just, I don't know how to talk about because of the graphical content and so on. But in my opinion, from my offline experience, I will say that I enjoyed the Japan version more because it doesn't have the little icon that appears with the autosave. That was the only difference between them that I experienced. Now, this Doki Doki Literature Club is the Plus version, so it does add a few extra content here and there. You get some image gallery, you as well as get the soundtrack you can unlock, as well as that you got side stories where you can get to play the beginnings of the literature club. You get to see backstories between every character and how they met and so on. Though, it is really good if you're wanting to get more character development with each character and get to know them a little bit better. But it also seems weird playing it because if you know the ending of the game, to have these in-depth characters and you know what's going to happen, it makes the experience a little bit more bittersweet because you know that how the story of the game is when you finally get around to playing that. For me anyway, as I said, I'm not a fan of fourth wall breaking as a narrative. And again, it's just not for my taste. But again, I enjoyed the game. I'm still glad to have it on my shelf. I don't know what the PS5 version is like. Maybe that one's uncensored. I doubt it, but that's why I have to always say that I have to confirm it. I have to check it myself, because I do not want to tell you guys that, well, someone told me that this is uncensored, or this has this version on the disc, or this comes with DLC by someone told me. I have to cover it myself, because as we've seen, somebody misled me or told me wrong information, or they were told wrong information to tell me. It's always a possibility with that. So that's why I have to just really just sit down and cover every variation of these games to make sure I can give you guys a full offline, unregistered experience of the game. So like always, I will try to leave links down in the description. I will try to leave links for both the US and Japan version of the game. My personal taste, I went for the Japan version just because it doesn't have that little autosave icon that popped up, but it's not that big of a deal. You don't have to go out of your way to get it. But who knows, maybe the US version is a more performance better considering it doesn't have a 1.5 gigabyte update. But that's entirely up to you. Like always, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope this video helped you. And again, I don't know about the Switch version. I don't know about the PS5 version. This is strictly for the PS4 version of the US and Japan versions of the game. So again, hopefully this video has helped you from now and in the future. So again, thank you all so much for watching my videos, and I'll see you guys in the next unboxing video. Bye-bye!